Good evening, everyone. It is April 29th, 2010, and this is Wheel of Fish. Today I'm going to talk to you something about that's relatively new to the to role-playing games, at least as far as I know. And that's something called group leveling. It's something that I've not seen very much of, but it's something that people are doing now, and I'm just going to talk to you about a little bit about how I approached it, considering in my game Resistance, I, not trying to boast, but was one of the first people to actually come up with the idea of group leveling in role-playing games. First, if you're not familiar with group leveling and you've not seen it yet, basically what group leveling is sort of like a renown system. It's a system where as your group progresses through the campaign and through the story, you gain more renown. People know you more, and you have more of a reputation. So, for example, when the campaign first starts, nobody knows who you are. You're just a bunch of guys that wander from town to town, or whatever. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody even gives you a second glance. You're just a bunch of guys going through town or whatever. But as time progresses, and the more you do stuff, the more people are going to notice you. At some point, if at some point you killed a big monster somewhere, people will start recognizing you for killing that big monster. People will start to recognize you. People will, by the end of the campaign, you could be, heroes of the known world, that kind of thing. And I'm going to show you a couple of games that are using this kind of concept right now. And aside from myself, and I'll post the link to my game in the doobly-doo. But a couple of games that I've noticed that are doing this is, first, there's White Wolf, the gaming company White Wolf, and recently in their World of Darkness games, their horror genre and their most popular games, they've introduced this group leveling concept. And I'm also going to talk about Blizzard with their new expansion for World of Warcraft, where they are introducing group leveling in the form of guilds, where the more powerful or more popular the guild gets, the more stuff you're going to get. At least that's how I imagine the group leveling concept for World of Warcraft is going to be with their new expansion. So the first two games that I'm going to talk, the first two games that are using group leveling from White Wolf are Geist the Sin Eater, move that in front of the camera better, and Hunter the Vigil. The sort of group leveling concept that Hunter the Vigil and Geist the Sin Eaters sort of have seem to be sort of more of, rather than there is a little bit of a renown factor in there. I mean, the more powerful your group is, the more well-known you're going to be. But they tend to focus this more on sort of group abilities that you can do. Like, with Geist, considering Geist is a game about people who have come back from the dead, possessed by ghosts. The more experience that you have in the group leveling, group experience thing that they have for that game, is that you'll be able to do more ghostly ritual kind of stuff. And while with Hunter the Vigil, that almost goes without saying, that's basically a game about hunting down the monsters that you play in other games in World of Darkness, is you'll be able to create group tactics, whether it be some sort of interrogation tactic, or a monster catching tactic, or whatever. That's the group leveling that they've got going on for those games. Of course, then there's World of Warcraft, and if you've seen any of the World of Warcraft commercials for the new expansion that they've got coming out, they mentioned briefly about how they're going to have guild levels. I think that's what it is. Don't take my word for it. Guild levels, which is basically their variation on group leveling, where instead of an individual leveling up, you have the group that levels up. And as far as I know, for how World of Warcraft is going to have their group leveling, it's as they progress, as the group progresses, as the guild gains more XP, that guild is going to have more access to other stuff. Sort of like how they have the honor system in World of Warcraft. The higher your honor, the more medals that you have from the PvP, the more stuff you can get. And that's my theory as to what their group leveling system is going to be. I don't know because I don't work for Blizzard. Granted, there are probably other games out there that use this system right now. But I don't know of any others right now. If any of y'all know any games that use group leveling, please, post down in the comments. I'm, willing to learn and willing to listen. Also, but then from the games that I know, then there's my game, which is Resistance Road to Liberation, which is really how I use the system. It's very, very based on renown. The more you do stuff in Resistance, the more attention you're going to get from the Axis or the Allies. And with that attention, you get the challenge gets higher, and the benefits get higher. Because, as a Resistance fighter, if you're going to go around blowing up Nazi trains, when you go around blowing up Nazi trains, the more attention you're going to get from the Nazi Party and the Germans. So, they're going to probably bring in, the more renown that you get, the more they're going to probably bring in tougher troops to take you out. At one point, the highest level of renown that I have set up on Resistance is level 10, where basically Hitler wants your character's heads on his desk. However, the benefit is that you get more attention from the Allies as well. The Allies, the more attention that you bring to yourself from the Axis, the more the Allies go, whoa, wait a second, these guys are doing our job for us. Maybe we should help these guys. And so after a limited amount of time, after you've gained enough renown, the Allies try to contact you, and they start giving you stuff. If you say, hey, we're going to blow up this train, or we're going to blow up this prison filled with a bunch of our own guys, could we have some dynamite maybe? And, you say that to the Allies, and, the higher renown is, the more likely the Allies are going to go, sure, have some dynamite, here you go. And that's my approach on group leveling. And I think as time progresses, this system is going to become more prevalent in games and going to become more fleshed out in games. And I'm very interested to see what happens next with this new addition to the game, to all the gaming genres. Well, guys, I'm going to go now. And if you have any comments to make on this, or if you know any other games that use group leveling other than the ones that I've listed, please comment on them down in the comments. I'll post my blog website, where you can find my copy of the game. I'll also post the links to Hunter the Vigil and Geist the Sin Eaters. And I'll also post a link to the advertisement that Blizzard put out that talks about their guild leveling, or whatever. So until next Thursday, my name's Charlie Wheaton, and this has been Wheel of Fish.